question: do you want to live a happy, abundant, a joyful, and healthy life? Well, one of the biggest blockers to actually having this is toxic energy. We contain toxic energy, or we have toxic energy consistently in our lives. Now, understanding our energy, our physical energy, the energy that runs our cells and keeps us alive, is actually our life force energy. We are energetic beings. So everything in our field that's energetic affects us, affects our lives, affects our mood, our emotions, our mentally, physically, spiritually, every component of our lives. So when we start to look at what things actually affect our vibration, creating negativity, depleting us, draining our life force energy, and lowering that vibrational state, we need to start looking at where those things come from. What are those things that you need to detoxify from? Now, they're usually very much in your direct environment. They're usually relationships you hold, situations, it might be a work environment, it's the thoughts, it's the old patterns caused by beliefs or stories or trauma that we hold on to, it's our emotions, they all interlink. Now, say, for instance, if we have a toxic relationship, or a relationship that's not even toxic, but it's just not giving energy back to us. It's not vibrationally rising us, that we're just staying because we're comfortable. But even ones that are really toxic, they create a lot of mind chatter. They create a lot of emotions, and they deplete us. They take us away from the moment. They actually drain our life force energy and really have an impact, not just on the relationship, but they impact all areas of our lives, because we're caught thinking about these things all the time. We're caught in the emotions, the stories. It just seems to repeat itself. So one of the most important things that we can do is actually detoxify from toxic situations or toxic energy. We need to let those relationships go. We need to let those situations go. We need to sit with recalibrating our energy, clearing our energy so we have space to attract better things. Rebalancing the energetic systems within the body after we've released those so that we can start to raise our vibration. Other things that we can do is actually take an inventory of what things deplete us, what things create negativity and toxic energy in our field. And then also look at the inventory of what things actually give back to you. Things that might actually be, yes, foods, like people always talk about the foods we eat, but it's actually our friends, the people we hang around with, the environments that we go to, doing yoga or exercise, or things that light you up, that are your passions, that are your inspiration, they're your hobbies, they're things that you really love. So starting to look at what brings you happiness, what fills your cup, and what doesn't fill your cup, what depletes you. And then make a choice. Your energy is one of the most vital things to manage, to look at those situations and make a change. And if you're in a relationship that you've been in and it is toxic, sitting with those deeper questions around, why did you allow this relationship to sustain? What is the belief or the pattern? Because you're likely to re-enter into another situation if you're not aware of why you've actually stayed there in the first place. What is it that was serving you? Or what is that belief that you didn't feel you were worthy to actually walk away, to have something better? And sometimes it's even as much as we do it for our children. But having them in a toxic environment where they're not seeing a relationship that's full of beautiful energy and vibration and love and passion is only teaching them to have those type of relationships too. So making choices that are really reflective and understanding why do we engage in those situations in the first place, to allow them to stay. Breaking through those fears, because fear is very much a low vibrational energy. It is toxic. It will limit you. Yes, fear has good components to it in the sense that it allows us to see where our limitations are. It actually can allow us to survive, protect us, but it can also really hinder us. And so it's really, really important to see this. Because if we stay in toxic situations and toxic environments, and we continue to have all this emotional chaos go on inside of us, we are taking away our life force energy. We are depleting ourselves. And the more depleted we become, the more unhealthy we become, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We need things that give us more life force energy, to be vibrant, to feel radiant, to be in our passion. And the more you start to do that you start to align to things that are actually positive energy and higher vibration that actually give back to you, the more you will start to attract. If you stay in those unhealthy and toxic situations, you will continue to attract situations that are going to be at that vibrational state. So this is really, really, really important. You need to take charge. You need to take charge of your energy. You need to do energy practices that help build your energy up. And yes, things like, I look at balancing chakras, and I look at the energetic systems of the nervous system, and I look at all those amazing things that are really, really important. But we also need to look at the energy of where our emotions are, what are our beliefs, what are the stories we're telling ourselves. They're practices you can do without even being taught anything. And sometimes we need that guidance, and that's why I combine energy work with transformational coaching, because it's helping people gain those pieces, gain that awareness, and gain that knowledge so they can actually do the work, so they can take charge of their lives and start to live a beautiful, happy, abundant life. So it's time for you to take charge. Sit down and choose things that are toxic and make choices to clear and cleanse. It's time to detoxify. Take charge of having a great life. Take charge of your energy. Take charge of your life force so you can live a life full of beautiful things. So I hope that's a piece for you guys today. It was something I shared in a post the other day, and it's something that really resonates with me, because I've been in very toxic situations and stayed and had relationships that were very depleting in the past. And they consumed me. They absolutely, and they didn't just consume me, they actually filtered into other areas of my life. They actually took away the present moment. They affected other relationships. They affected how I felt. They affected my job because I couldn't think clearly. So all those things, I've been there, and I know how vital our energy work is to changing our lives and having a life full of bliss. Lots of love from Kelly at Energetically Inspired.